much. And thank you everyone for joining on a weekday morning. I hope you're all ready with a mug of coffee, or you've in other parts of the world. I think in India, you would have probably had your lunch already. So welcome to the first, I think it's first of the webinars that we are doing from Zwag AI Solutions. For those of you that don't know me, I am Priya M. Nair. I'm the founder and CEO of Zwag AI Solutions. So Zwag is very easy to guess where that word comes from. It comes from a lot of swag. We started off as a a conversational AI-driven social app, the first of its kind in the GCC, specifically designed for Gen Zers. So Gen Zers, the youth, have always been very close to our heart. And then we kind of pivoted when we realized that we have come up with what you could call the blueprint to the shovel and pickaxes that you could that you could use to dig the AI gold, right? Which is the NLP, which is the large language model. So we came up with our own proprietary large language model. We call it ZLang, Zwag's Large Analytical Language Graph. And we have now close to 66 billion parameters. So we are now using that. We are using that superpower to enable the youth to kind of help them learn how to build smaller quantized large language models, and also to build their own tools using our language model. Now, to enable that, we have set up something called Zwag AI Labs. It's a remote internship program lasting between 1 to 3 months, and where we help the youth, especially the university students, to come on board and learn about the large language models, how to create one. I mean, practically how to kind of come up with one, and also to build bots. Our first batch is very much live. We have 6 brilliant interns. Some of them are attending the call today. And when they graduate, we believe that they would have at least the basics of understanding of what LLM is, and also how to build a chatbot of their own. Now, as part of interacting with Gen Zers, we conducted a poll on Instagram, and everybody that voted said that they were really concerned about AI taking their job opportunity in the future, right? And that's a concern that as a Gen Z company, we could not ignore. And then I spoke to him, and he was like, okay, we need to do something about it. And that's how he's here. Very happy to have you here, Hemant. And those of you who already know him, know how brilliant he is. He's also known as the uncomfortable coach. Not because he is uncomfortable, but he often makes people uncomfortable, I've heard, just because he believes that success starts outside your comfort zone, and you have to start becoming uncomfortable if you want to make changes in your life. Am I right, Hemant? Over to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Fantastic. So I think people in the audience will keep growing. So I will begin, and of course, with my introduction and on. Quick note for the audience here, as we go through the session, any questions, etc., just put it in the chat. I'll keep an eye on the chat as far as I can, and I'll try to answer them while we are going through. Or if not, we will come to those questions in the chat at the end. Okay, so great. Let me run through some slides again. Okay, so here you go. Okay, great. So here we begin with the session. And of course, this is a quote I put there: future is scary for the unprepared. I have no idea who said that. If nobody said that, then I become the author for this quote. As simple as that. Great. So I think two big, massive changes have happened in these few years that we have been around. One, COVID happened. So the world suddenly, I won't say discovered, because remote working has been around for more than 20 years. People have been doing video conferences and so on. But the mass adoption of remote working happened 3 years ago, when people were forced to do it. Organizations were forced to do it. The entire world was forced to do it. There has probably not been such a mass adoption of anything in our recent memory, except for a few apps which come and go. But this was a mass cultural shift which happened. Also, while AI has been around for several decades, Yes, AI is not new. It's been around at least for the last 20 years. It has been in active use. It's just that it was not available for use by a common user, by the masses. At the start of this year, with ChatGPT, that changed. And that led to a whole massive slew of other tools coming to the fore. And now you have literally got, in a matter of 6, 7 months, hundreds of tools, if not thousands, doing various kinds of things with the label of AI. Quite a lot of them actual AI, some of them not so. But yes, everybody is riding on the AI wave. So you see and you hear a lot about AI in this year more than any other year, in spite of the fact that AI has been around for quite some time. So these two things are going to effectively combined change the way the future is for us. So the future of work is going to change, the future of careers is going to change, and that is something we will address. Uh, be what authority or what why should you listen to me? So just a quick intro to me. I wear a lot of hats. I'm a life coach and business coach, having worked as a management consultant for 20 years. I just bring all that consulting experience into my coaching. So I coach people for job interviews, I coach managers, I'm a leadership facilitator, and do a whole lot of other things also, including being a keynote speaker. So that's one of the reasons I got invited here. Besides the other reason that I am the also called the filmy coach, success coach, of course, clarity coach, and uncomfortable coach. So being the filmy coach, I got to do some things. Right. So here we begin. What you are seeing is a simple screenshot. All I did was put a few keywords in Google. I said futuristic, dystopian, Hollywood movies. Just 4 words, and it gave me all these movies. A few of these movies you would have already seen, would know what is happening in the backdrop of the storyline. Well, here are a few more. Some of these movies are pretty old. I mean, they are not even from this century. They belong to my childhood and the last century. Things like Robocop, Terminator series, which started last century, and so on and so forth. Even Matrix is last century. If you have not seen some of these iconic movies, you should definitely catch hold of them. Especially the Terminator series, which kind of was one of these initial movies which talked about the machines taking over the world. Matrix was another level. It was pretty much machines are in control of the world. But yes, these are great science fiction. But while we see this science fiction, forget the Matrix for a moment, but the Terminator was about evolution of the machines, how it began with the industrial revolution, and then the chips came into the place and the computers took over, and the computers gained consciousness or the ability to think. With the AI revolution happening in these times, in today, in this year, which has become the talk and hot topic, a lot of people have begun to revisit these conversations about which were triggered by Hollywood movies in the past, where machines would become conscious, machines would begin to think, and that's the first step to take over humanity. Well, you really think that the AI, the way the AI operates today, it's got thinking abilities, or is it a much advanced level of logical processes? Machines have always followed instructions. Computers, right from the very beginning, from doing 1 plus 1 to doing alphabets to sentences to changing the fonts in your Word, Excel, applying formulas to your Excel, everything was a set of instructions and formulas fed into the machine. You gave input, it gave output, and the output was predictable because of the formulas and the logic built into the system. When you see AI, your input has reduced, your output has increased, not just in quantity, but in terms of quality. You are having this feeling that the AI is generating it. Also, the term generative AI, right? You hear a lot about this generative AI, which kind of fuels the conversation that You are having machines which are able to think and create. In some ways, yes, but look deeper. Go deeper into this conversation about machines and how AI operates. And you will begin to realize that we are just in an advanced mode of making our machines, the chips, the processor, do much more. We are going beyond logic, but it is still in the realm of programming. Earlier, it was a small data set, information set, and instruction set that the machines, the processors were working on. What we have taken a giant leap in is increasing the size of the data set, the instruction set. And we have given the ability to the machines that, hey, we'll give you some algorithms with which you can even learn the new processes or learn new things. Right? Machine learning is once again not a new concept. It has been around for quite some time. Right? The AI revolution which we see has not happened in a year. It's work of several decades, which is now exploding into it. One of the key reasons for it to explode was the access which was created for the masses. Right? Chat GPT. A lot of people refer to Chat GPT as AI. But is Chat GPT the AI, or is it just an interface? Right? You hear also the term large language models. So basically, what it is, and Priya, correct me if I am wrong anywhere in the technical terms or technical explanations. For me, the LLMs or the tools like ChatGPT are just an interface between you and the AI operating in the background. These interfaces allow you to give simple inputs to the AI in the background, and the AI is able to interpret it and give you the output. ChatGPT has created like quite a wave with all its artistic and even creative output in terms of writing content for you in various ways, in various tones, in various sentiments. Right? You can give instructions to it to write it in an authoritative style, a creative style, a boisterous style, and so on and so forth. At the same time, people are asking ChatGPT to create poetry, and it is doing that. Perfectly rhyming, nice, relevant poems which make sense. So, yes, the essence of creativity coming from AI is increasing, right? So, all this has been happening, and we have been watching a lot of movies kind of emphasize on that because, of course, with movies, the scarier the picture they paint, great is the hero story. Let's move on from there. Let's go back much in time. The evolution of tools. Pretty much we started with rocks and then we evolved over a period of time. When it came to traveling or commuting, we started and moved on. We discovered the wheel at some point in time, and then, of course, things changed, became better and better, and now we are pretty much going to space, and not just as exploration, but of course, we have got a few guys up there working on space tourism. So even that is not far into the future. It's actually begin. Look at communication, look at machinery, how it has evolved over a period of time. And then, of course, uh, in terms of communication from the telephone to the mobile phones, which we are pretty much glued to the wearables, which we are now looking at. And there is already a conversation about embedded wearables. So it would be pretty much inside your body without any external devices you could be carrying. So what we see is evolution of tools through human history, right? And which brings us back to 2023, where Chat GPT and related tools, like there are literally hundreds of tools out there, each tool creating its own niche in terms of what it can do, right? There are tools for music, there are tools for creating images, and absolutely crazy, mind blowing images are being created by AI these days. You see a lot of examples being posted online in specific forums, but of course also on the regular forums like the social networks like the Instagrams and Facebooks. Yes, Facebook is not dead. Some of us still use it. And of course, LinkedIn also has seen a plethora of AI generated images being there. And of course, in the recent few weeks, we have seen some great quality videos being generated by AI and being posted, right? So when you look at music, audio, then the visual, which is the images, and of course the videos, you really get the feeling that AI is doing a lot. People are creating short 1 minute, 2 minute videos, which are pretty much the length of an ad or sometimes even a short film, using AI, using a combination of various AI tools, pretty much half a day's job for a single person to produce a short movie, something which would have probably taken 100+ people in the past to do. Whether it was stop animation, completely computer generated, or with people involved, it would have taken a lot of people, a lot of effort, a lot of time to generate something which is happening in half day's time. So where does that all bring us to? So coming from us number crunching to, are we seeing a time and a phase where we will have AI doing the same? Where does that leave us? Does that leave us with a lot of time at our hand to utilize in a better manner? Or does that leave us jobless? That's a very interesting question. But what I see happening is, and this is where I go back to the tools we have used over a period of time. The entire AI revolution is about creating tools, new tools, far more advanced tools for our usage. It is the tools that are being created to make us, the humans, more effective, to help us get things done faster. In fact, most of these tools, a large majority, will be focused towards helping us get the first draft in place. Like ChatGPT is great for creating your first draft of anything. You want to write a LinkedIn post, you want to write a chapter, you want to write an essay, you want to write a book. ChatGPT is great at creating, you give it inputs and it will be great at creating your first draft. But then you need to bring in your human intelligence. Then you need to bring in your own individual style, your individuality to that written piece. And that is where it becomes your original work. There is a raging debate over copyright on for content which is created by an AI tool. Who does it belong to? Because each AI feeds on pretty much a very large data set, and that large data set contains a lot of original work created by thousands and thousands of people. Very soon, it will also contain a large data set of material which has been generated by AI, which is again created as a sum of thousands of people. And then there is a whole tool in between, the AI, which is creating, in quotes, the content for you. But then that content was created by you as a user. You initiated the content creation process by giving a prompt in whatever form or manner. So who is the owner of that content that is finally created? Because it's new content. It's unlike any other content created in past. At least the all the AI tools are making that promise that what you get is different from what anybody else would get, even if they gave the same prompt. So 4 of you on 4 different computers can give the same prompt, and the promise from AI, that people who are creating the tools, is that you should be getting different results if it's a creative pursuit. If you're asking for information, then of course it should be the same information. The information cannot vary. The facts cannot vary. But wherever creativity is involved, wherever content creation, whether it is audio, video, text, then that should be different. So you will have a lot of original content being created with, right now at least, a dilemma on who owns that content, who owns the copyright. And that is where you make a difference. As a user, the sharper your input, the prompt that you give, the better is your understanding of how the AI tool works. You will be in a better position to make use of that AI tool to get your work done in a shorter time with a high level of efficiency, with a high level of effectiveness, right? So that is where I would say the focus is. I'm sure you would have also heard the quote that AI is not going to take your job. A person using AI is going to take your job, right? So it's a reality. Jobs are going to be lost. There's absolutely no two ways about it. Every revolution which has happened in the past in terms of machines, computers, technology has taken away jobs. Humankind has been focused on being more productive. And being more productive means getting the same job done in less time with less effort, especially with less human effort. And when that happens, you need less people to do jobs. Job losses will occur. But at the same time, while job losses have occurred and human population has increased, effectively, number of jobs have always increased all through history of time. And why is that? Because with each new technology, you will have new jobs related to the technology. The technology will give rise to new industries, new forums where jobs will be created. So you as an individual should not be looking at the past and the current jobs present in the market. Think of what future jobs will be. If you are thinking about the current jobs, think which jobs will survive the onslaught of AI and which won't, right? Copywriting, simple act of writing a good copy for an article, for social media, for newspapers, for news readers. A lot of writing work has been happening all across the globe. Books have been written, articles are being written, thousands and thousands of newspapers being printed or being e-printed on websites on a daily basis. So many people have been writing content. The AI onslaught is going to change that significantly because the amount of time required for people to write a single piece of content is going to drastically reduce. Yes, that space is going to be heavily impacted. People are already talking about, I need one person instead of 10. And that's where you need to focus on. Who is going to be that one person? You are competing with your peers for those future jobs. And who will be that person? That will be the person who can rise above AI. So when I saw this AI revolution happening in the past few days, and I was having conversations with people like Priya, Arshad, and other people who have been actively involved in conversations about AI. One of the things which came up was that the AI is heavily dependent on the input you give. So the prompt you give. So prompt engineering is a hot term in the past 6 months. Now, the better the prompt, the better will be the output. So a better the prompter, that is you, the user, the better you are at doing that, greater is your employability in a job that requires you to use AI. So that's one differentiator. The second, you give the input, you get the output from ChatGPT, from DALI, from Midjourney, from any of those hundreds of tools. Now, how do you, as a human, take the output of AI and take it to the next level? Can you give it back to the AI and refine it further? Can you take that output and use it further? Right? If you are able to do that, you are now playing in that band of few people who are working with AI and who are now in like great demand in the job world. And now you are rising to the top as you become a great prompter and a great finisher. I don't have a title for that right now, so I'll just use the finisher. I'm sure there's a Hollywood movie by that name also. Probably would be a very violent movie. But let's look at it in the AI context. If you can start the job with AI and end the job with AI to create absolutely stunning, exemplary output, something which matches the requirement. And now this is going to be one of the crucial things when it comes to the applicability of AI and the human intervention required, the human element required. When you give a prompt to AI, it gives you an output. How close is the output to your requirement is a combination of one, the quality of your input, as well as what you can do with the output. For example, I said ChatGPT great as a first draft. So it creates a draft. I can go to ChatGPT and say, today I want to write a LinkedIn post about uh, the same topic, we'll say, right? How the Gen Z should be responding to the AI revolution. And ChatGPT, within a few seconds, without batting an eyelid, create a nice article for me. I read that article and it makes sense. It's good. But the moment I give this article to someone else and they read it, one, they like it, of course, because of the content, but they don't see that article being written by me because I haven't added my style to it. Right? Of course, AI can be trained to copy your style, but it's a long shot. It takes a lot of time and effort. So while you're doing that, just take the output and personalize it to your style. This is just the article meeting my requirements. Let's take in the business context. Somebody has actually given, let's say there is a marketing agency and you have requirements coming from the client. The marketing agency, in all its content creation of audio, video, text, everything, is using AI tools. When they get the output from the AI, they need to align this output to the exact requirements presented by the human clients. And when they submit it to the clients will come back with certain comments. And now, rather than take help from AI to further polish it, might be actually useful for the humans to do it because they understand the human sentiment, the human logic. Sometimes they're just illogical demands of the humans. Even that is something where humans will be able to play a greater role in doing it. So if you look at these things, we have been taking very simple examples. You jump into the technology field, you jump into the field of medical sciences, medical treatments. AI is going to play a significant role in creating faster diagnosis, even faster alert systems around your health condition. The watch which you wear could be monitoring so many of the parameters of your health, and it can throw up an alert, right? So AI is going to have massive applications all across. It is going to take a lot of humans to code that in, to create those applications. It is going to take human insight to think of applications of AI and create those applications which will be able to do the job. So if you look at the future, at least the near future, I see humans have a great role to play in using AI. Distant future, well, it's unpredictable. Because right now we are riding the wave of AI in its current form. People have already begun talking about the next wave, the next huge, massive wave of AI. Right? I mean, we're talking of generative AI. People are already talking of something like AGI or something. I'm not well versed with that conversation yet. I've read about it a few times, but completely going over my head. So I've left it for now. I'll come back to it later. But those things are bound to come. But don't worry about it. And let me give you an example. So back in March, when the weather was good and I was still taking morning walks outside, uh, me and my wife were walking one fine morning, and I began to tell her about ChatGPT and what it is doing. and what it can do and so on and so forth. After listening about 10-15 minutes very patiently, my wife simply asked me, "But why are you telling me all this? I've got nothing to do with this." I said, "Yes, it is important for us." He said, "Why?" I said, "I am actually no longer worried about my kids' futures." And she was like, "You just told me all the things that AI can do. Sounds pretty scary. How is your response the exact opposite?" I said, "I was thinking about when the kids grow up. Like my kids are 9 and 6. So I'm already thinking about what they will do when they grow up. Like science, commerce, arts, management, medical stream. So many different jobs. Do they become do they go into space programs and so on? So complete wide variety of options. I'm just thinking where they will go. And with this whole AI revolution happening, I'm saying whatever stream of studies they have to choose, 6 years from now or 10 years from now, there's no point in thinking about it today because what you have today might just become significantly irrelevant in 5 to 10 years. You may have completely new streams of education, streams of technology, streams of advanced education coming up. So why should I worry? So I am now completely worry free. But it also comes to the point for you, which is relevant, that you will now need to constantly upgrade yourself to what's happening. What you don't need to do is upgrade yourself to everything. Pick and choose where does your interest lie. Because the field of generative AI is going to be very vast. It's going to make a difference to all possible fields around in the world, whether it is economics, whether it is medical sciences, whether it is environment, whether it is sustainability, whether it is creative pursuits, or whether it is research and development, design, manufacturing, service industry, everywhere AI is going to play a role. The simple apps of Noon, Zomato, food ordering, e-commerce apps that you're using, they will also transform with AI. All you will need to figure out is where does your interest lie? Where does your passion lie? And then begin to explore the advancement in that particular segment, in that particular area. Upgrade yourself to the skill sets required. Look for organizations which value the change, who are changing, right? We have seen countless stories in the past where organizations have refused to change and they have disappeared. Kodaks, Nokia's, BlackBerry, and so many other examples are there. We had Blockbuster yesterday and we have Netflix today. So there are organizations which are changing, which are evolving. Look for people in that organization. Approach them so that they can mentor you. They can at least tell you where you should be investing your time in upgrading, updating, and learning new things. That is the education which will get you jobs. Work on mini projects. It is so easy to create an app these days. Very soon, it is going to be very easy to create an AI based app. I'm sure it has probably already happened. People are probably already creating apps based on existing LLMs. And I would actually like Priya to talk about that possibility in the future. How AI, uh, we have this whole view about AI being a big thing. I mean, the name itself, large language models, the large is very large with billions of tokens or billions of data sets and all that. So it seems pretty big. And a normal person would think that, oh, we can be a user, but not a creator or a developer in that field. That is soon changing. That is fast changing. So I would like Priya to talk on that for a few minutes. But that is going to open up a lot of possibilities for you. You will now be able to create your own applications. It may, of course, bring you money because an application may be a paid application. People may like to use it if it's a great idea and so on and so forth. But that becomes your showcase project to a company, to an organization where you might be looking for a job. They will see that as your CV. Your CV need not have what did you study, what scores you got. Your CV will probably have this is an app I developed, this is what the app does, so many million downloads. This is the 5-star or 4-star ratings I've got. So much data processed by the app, so much data generated by the app, etc., etc. The CV of the future will have a completely different set of things out there, right? So it's a different world. Yes, it's changing. Yes, it is volatile. It's uncertain. It's complex, and it's ambiguous. The term VUCA for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity kind of resurfaces in a much brighter way. It's right in your face. But we humans are great at adapting to all these changes. Absolutely fantastic. We're just we're just getting better and better at adapting to them. And all you need is a personal drive to do that, to explore what is happening, to explore the changes that are coming in. And it's going to be a cakewalk. We often talk, the oldies often talk that the younger generation is much smarter, much faster at adopting technology. I'll just give you an example. When we entered COVID 3 years ago, my daughter, 6 years old, starts to attend online schools. And she starts using the computer. I have to show her how to use Microsoft Teams to attend her classes, etc., and so on, which is what I am also learning because I am also attending my office meetings on Microsoft Teams. I'm in the bedroom, she's sitting in the drawing room. We both are attending our own meetings. In a matter of a month and more, like about 30 to 45 days, role reversal happens. I am no longer teaching her how to use Microsoft Teams. She is teaching me all the new features which are now available in Microsoft Teams. Kids, they were throwing the teacher out of the meeting room. The teacher was not able to figure out how to keep herself in that. So they are amazing. You guys, the Gen Z and whatever new alphabets are there for the generations which are coming, you are much smarter. You are much more, I would say you are great at adapting to this new wave of change which is happening. So don't fear it, just embrace it. Explore what is happening. Don't think too much of the future. In fact, one of the last things I would like to leave you with is that the whole definition of long-term view, short-term view is changing. Long-term is no longer 20 years, 30 years. Short-term is no longer 5 years. Short-term now is weeks and months. Long-term is pretty much 1 to 2 years. The world will change in 2 years. You can do things in a matter of weeks and months. Start thinking on those timelines. Don't even worry about 10 years into the future. Things will be of different shape. You will be at a different level of maturity to understand, to take action. Focus on the now. Focus on what is happening around you. Be consciously aware of things which are happening. Take interest. There are times when I have addressed a room full of people in organizations, and I love to ask them, how many of you have used ChatGPT even once? Right? Just once. Even in the month of July and August, 6 months after the ChatGPT wave hit the world, I see half the room raising their hands to that question. They have not yet explored. And I actually have to request them that please go ahead, just link your account, open ChatGPT and explore it. Nothing much, just see what it can do to you, what it can do for you. And you will soon find applications of the various tools in your life. Use it judiciously and then get interested in it. Learn more about it. How does it work? How can you make it work for you? And soon you will be driving ChatGPT. Soon you will feel far more confident of the future along with ChatGPT and every other tool. Well, that's the end of my monologue. I would now focus on any question answers that you have. But before that, Priya, uh, if you could talk a bit about the LLMs, how the access to LLMs is coming to people, how people can actually use at their individual level. That is an area that you would be talking about. So over to you.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much, Heyman. There were so many nuggets of things that went aha. I had aha moments in my head, as to, yeah, that's absolutely right. How much of originality can we uh, expect from AI, and so on and so forth. Uh, when it comes to large language models, especially, good that you bring it up. You're absolutely right. It's no longer the kind of the monopoly of the big corporates. As a startup, we came up with a 66 billion parameters large language model. I'm not saying that that was easy, because we started almost a year back, even before this was the fad, or this was the talk of the town. So we had an early mover advantage. But if you see, people are wanting smaller power, lower compute, large language models that can sit on their local machines, so on and so forth. And that's why in our, I mentioned about Zwag AI labs, right, that we are doing for university students. And we have our first batch that's going on. We have given them an option to choose between two tracks. One is to understand about LLMs and how they are built and what goes into it, and how to come up with quantized, industry specific, sector specific large large language models. And also there is a bot press sort of a track where they will learn how to create a bot, how to create a chat flow, and it will be connected to the large language model. So these are the two tracks that the interns, the students, university students in our Zwag AI lab are learning for now. But the more I interact with them, and the more I interact with other students, I realize that AI should not just be for students that know how or want to develop something of their own. Why did ChatGPT become so popular? Is because it was for everyone, right? Anybody who could just type any language for that matter, not just English. If you couldn't type, you could even just speak to it, and you would get a response like you were speaking to a human. And anybody could use it. That was why I believe ChatGPT caught people's imagination. And now they're done writing poems, rhyming poems and stuff like that, and they realize that we can do better. Yes, it's a great starting point, but we can do better. Arshad will also agree that even when it comes to coding and technical tasks, you have to know what you're doing. Otherwise it will not give you the right. You will go wrong. You cannot, even if you're in construction industry, architecture, you got to know where that pipe should go, or if what the AI has designed for you in a BIM model or a 3D model is absolutely is supposed to be there. So you got to have that domain experience absolutely to kind of fact check, because still there is a lot of, we in AI call it hallucination. The bots hallucinate a lot, because basically what they at the end, they are able to predict things, right? They can look at a pattern, and then they can predict what comes next, and that's what they do. So it's great at writing fiction if you don't care about the impact that the output that AI is going to give to make. If it's fictional and you are not going to implement it in real life situations, like using that blueprint to build something, unless you have expertise in that, that's not a great way to go. It's a great starting point, of course. So what we are also trying to come up with, especially for students over here, is that two things. One is to give them access, the university students, give them access to our smaller quantized models of ZLang, our large language model, that they can run on their own laptops, and they can start experimenting with, creating their own products, research, and create tools of their own. Why this is important is because that a lot of models out there uh, cannot be fine-tuned to exactly what you want. And a lot of companies, OpenAI, whoever it is, they're not going to handhold you through the entire process, right? We want to help you not just by giving you an LLM, okay, go and learn things on your own. We want to handhold you through the entire process. So anybody enrolling in that kind of a program or subscribing to that plan can just send API calls to LLM and come back to us and ask questions, and we can help you with that. Now, as I said, we just don't want AI to be only for the developer students, right? We want everybody or everyone to kind of get something out of it. But we also realize just giving them a chat bot and then converse with it doesn't work as well. Gen Z want things in their control. They want data in their control. They want the chatbot to be as customized and personalized as possible. So what we are developing right now, and this is the first time anybody is hearing out here. So this is an announcement of sorts. What we are building is kind of a student buddy. What happens is that it is kind of DIY, build your own student buddy. We just give you a web page or an app wherein you enter the bot's name. You can call it your buddy, whatever you want, any name, and you just enter the source, which could be a PDF text, which could be a research website, which could be your PDF scanned copies of your text notes. Just type in the notes during your lecture, whatever it is, you just record it and upload it, and then you can ask questions to the bot, to your buddy, and learn with that. So it is not a generic chat at all. It becomes really a study buddy that you can make it whatever you want to, by providing your own data. I think that is a way to go as well, which means that AI then becomes every student's friend. It's not a generic thing like ChatGPT. It will be tied to your syllabus, whatever you wanted to talk to you about. So these are things that we are working on, especially for the student community, and there is so much that we want to give back as well. From what Hemant that you've been saying, yes, definitely AI is not going anywhere, and I believe humans are not going anywhere either. And I would ask Arshad to pitch in over here, because we have been hearing prompt engineering quite a lot. So it looks like a lot of people, a lot of the youngsters would want to get into prompt engineering. So tell me, is prompt engineering only for people that have technical experience, or can anybody for that matter get into prompt engineering?
So yeah, thanks Priya for the opportunity. Can you guys hear me clearly? Yeah. So yeah, this prompt engineering is a big buzzword right now. But when I tell what actually is prompt engineering, it is the art of asking questions. Like whenever we work or whenever we do any project, we have to ask the right question to, before it was to humans, right? It was called requirement gathering. It was called business requirement gathering. Now the term has changed. According to me, you need to still know the background of what is happening, right? But prompt engineering is just the way you are asking the right questions. And now you are not actually asking to a human being, right? The questions you are asking to a machine, to an AI engine. So you need to be more specific, and you need to learn what all are the specificity and the parameters of the LLMs, like creativity, temperature, and all the other things. And also you need to give the context very well. So the way you ask questions have changed. But you need to know the subject of what you're asking. Like you need to know Python to ask ChatGPT to give you a Python output. You need to know Excel, or you at least need to understand the basics, because the output that is coming, you need to assess it. So in short, I need to tell you that it is just a skill of asking the questions, but it is not a shortcut to not learn about the subject that you're asking for.
Absolutely. So nobody is going to skip university. Drop that idea. You still have to stay in the university, and you still have to learn. People who have left university, just keep yourself up to date. And don't worry, just like Hemant said, don't worry if you're not able to keep up with the pace at which that AI is happening. Us, like Arshad, you ask Arshad, he will tell you the same. We are in this industry, AI industry, and even we cannot keep up. Like every day there's something new coming up. Even we cannot keep up. We make the effort, we put in everything that we can to learn and understand, and it is the same, right?
There was one question about creativity, that with so much of things being generated and created by all the AI tools, does creativity in humans take a backseat? In fact, I am of the opposite view, and I actually have got two diverse views. One, creativity needs to be heightened because you need to do, as humans, better than an AI. So you will need to up your game. That's one. Two, creativity has been kind of been seen as something for a few creative people. The others are like, okay, I do my normal best and that's okay. There are other creative people who can do better. Now access to creativity is for everyone. Everybody can actually create using AI reasonably good material. It could be, as I said, audio, video, text, any other format. So creativity heightens, right? The other conversation was about, remember I talked about the finisher role. What do you do with, what you do with the output of the AI. One of the key things which was pointed out in the last 5 minutes was fact checking. When it comes to facts, AI, yes, it does a reasonable job, but you can't really trust AI at this point. There have been numerous cases where AI has hallucinated and generated facts out of thin air. And people have landed in a lot of trouble because of that. There was a lawyer who cited cases of the past, and when the judge asked him to produce documentation for those cases, and the lawyer went back and asked ChatGPT, okay, give me the documentation, there was none. Because those cases did not exist, ChatGPT just created them. And he landed up in a lot of, and there have been many other incidents. So fact checking is going to be a very serious business in terms of output created by the AI, right? The AI buddy example. Oh, my mind was blown when I heard Priya talking about an AI buddy for every student. I was literally thinking that Alexa and Siri are going to have a tough competition because now everybody has their own personalized, custom built Alexa and Siri will just answer questions which is really, really relevant for them. Now, once you start thinking on that lines, and this is for all of you, once you start thinking about as an AI buddy of yours who is there for you, creating output just for you, and the way you can, and in the next few months and the next few years, you'll be able to customize it significantly. It starts with being your AI buddy, and then it can actually become your AI counterpart, your doppelganger, who can now write for you in your style, who can create for you in your style. So now you can improve, not only, I mean, you can extend your productivity 10x, 100x, because now you have got someone who can really take your output to the next level. So that's another big thing. And yes, prompt engineering. Arshad talked about it. At the core of it, prompt engineering is asking the right questions. Something what we have always heard of. You ask the right questions, you will get the right answer. You ask an incomplete question, you will get an incomplete answer. The same principles work in prompt engineering. As a consultant and a coach, my life has been over the last 20 years about asking the right question. I can really appreciate that. But for all of you, being curious, right? Keep asking those questions, even in your head, and then when it comes to AI, to the AI also, and get better at asking better questions, well-formulated questions. I'm sure you would have seen online, there are single line prompts, and there are 3-4 line prompts, and then there is a page-long prompt which can go into any of the AI. And the better the prompt, the better the kind of varied inputs you can give in the prompt, the far more accurate will be your output. So these are all the things that you guys will have to learn. I mean, we are also struggling to learn with them, but it will all come naturally to you because it's part of your growing up, right? So it's not scary if you're not prepared. If you're prepared, it's going to be a breeze. It's going to be super, super exciting for all of you. Over to you, Priya. You can conclude the session.
Thank you so much, Hemant. I hope the session was insightful and you all are going away with some insights about. Yes, Praveen. I think we have a few seconds if you want to ask a question. Please unmute.
Hello, Priya. Hello, Priya. Hello, Archit. Thank you for this session, this wonderful session. Okay. I think I have a different opinion on AI. I think AI is like a second brain for us human. But I had like I had this question, as in, is there any any future technologies that you think has the potential to create lots of jobs for people in the future? Like, what do you are planning to learn in the future? Can you share some of the technologies that you are planning to learn or you think will be in high demand, so that as in for the Gen Zs, they will they will equip these skills and maybe be better equipped for the future.
That is a very tough question to answer, I would say, because with the kind of development that's happening in technology, it's very difficult to say what in technology would bring lots of jobs out there. But I think at some point, if we are going towards what we think AI is going towards, I think we'll need a lot more human beings to provide the human feedback loop, right? Because you see that we have seen that ChatGPT, the accuracy has gone down to 27% in the past few months, and that's been discussed widely. So how do you bring back quality to that? Is bringing in the humans the only way to do it? Can we trust AI to kind of self-correct itself? So I think technology is not the answer. Yes, things that would help to improve the technology would be one aspect, but I think the job of the future is more outside technology. If you ask me, it would come to ethics, it would be related to sustainability, it would be related to ethics in AI in general, and responsible AI, all those things. So to me, it is definitely a combination of AI jobs, AI related jobs or technology related jobs, but also the other ones. We still have to eat, we still have to grow food, we still have to be mindful of what our kids are learning. So there are jobs, I don't know, on a massive scale, like what happened in the industrial revolution, or if you're asking me, jobs that were created when the internet happened. What is next? That kind of technology that will bring massive jobs in? I don't know, honestly. I don't know if Hemant has an answer to that, or anybody else has an answer to that.
Absolutely not. As I said, the definition of future is changing. It's no longer 30, 40, 50 years. It's the next 5 years. So let's think on that kind of horizon. That's the predictable universe we live in.
And I think especially for Gen Zers, if you're going out for a job and if anybody asks you, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Tell them, ask me, tell them that that's an irrelevant question, because things like future, as he said, is the definition of future. My 6-year-old, my 7-year-old keeps asking me, is this future? He thinks that, in school they tell you that in future there will be flying cars, in future there will be more that and this, and then in the news he watches that in Dubai the flying cars are being thought, the prototype is out there, and he asked me, okay, is this the future? Is this the future? So yes, I mean, this is the future. We are living in the future. So equip for the future that is today sounds contradictory, but equip for what skills are here today. Hemant is absolutely right. You don't know by the end of your 3-year course or 4-year course or whatever you're learning, you never know what jobs exist at that point. I think the biggest ability that you should have is adaptability. Like always, it's going to be the survival of the fittest. And the smartest, smart in the terms of how you're able to be agile and adapt to changes and adapt technology. I would say embrace AI as much as you embrace TikTok or Instagram and your socials, and take interest in that, and don't be kind of worried or bogged down by everything that's happening around you. Just like Hemant's wife said, because we are in the thick of it, it seems like all hell has broken loose. But for a vast majority of people out there, this doesn't matter. This doesn't matter at all. They are just going about with their lives. But the problem I see in that is we should not be oblivious to the technological advances, because we will not know what hit you. 5 years down the line, everything happens on AI. Everything is happening in technology. Now payments are, a lot of the payments, how many of you carry cash in your wallet these days? Everything has started to be digital, right? And if you don't know to use those things, it's going to be difficult. Back in India, a lot of things are connected with your Aadhaar cards and your UIDs and things like that. So for older generations, now they are finding it difficult to get things done, right? Even if it is a basic thing of paying your electricity bills. So we don't want to be that. We don't want to be that, isn't it?
Uh, Hello, Priya. Actually, maybe I need to give specific context about what my question was. It was as in I'm like switching careers.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
recently moved to Dubai. I have the skills of data analyst and business intelligence analyst. And I was thinking, I'm like really interested in LLMs plus AI
Yeah,
in general.
yeah.
And I was thinking, even though I have the skills, I do not usually get calls for data analyst jobs, but I have received some calls for software developer and web developer, but no calls for data analyst. I was thinking, is there, some technologies that companies here are using that I am not understanding or something like that?
No,
As in,
no,
you
no.
are in the market of it, right?
So, Praveen, you are part of Arshad's community, isn't it?
Yeah. Also, we are connected on LinkedIn. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're part of the WhatsApp group as well. So there are a lot of discussions that happen there around what needs to be learned and everything. I think you are in the right profession because you are. I understand you already are into software development, and a lot of software development companies are going to require data analysts. They don't know yet. I think data analysis and analysis, especially in the context of what's happening now, is a very important skill set that we need. And if you have the right skills, not just namesake data analysts, but if you have the right skills and if you can really make sense of data and help businesses out there, I don't think there is anything more valuable than the current skill sets that you have. And then continue working on that. Arshad always keeps saying that the best way to learn or to enhance your skills is definitely to start working on projects, small projects on your own. If you need more understanding on LLMs or more access to LLMs, just talk to Arshad or talk to us. We are more than happy to kind of help you. But I think you've already taken that step. You're already in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Priya,
Thank
there's
you,
one
Priya.
question which has come on chat, and I would like to respond to that along with Praveen's query together. The question in the chat was, what are the possibility can we have with AI in the ERP industry? And I would like to take that along with the data analyst role.
Yeah.
Data analysis is a vast field, and it's a much required field also. It's a hot job. They are going to be absolutely in high demand because with the AI revolution, also the IoT revolution, which has been in the making over the past few years, we are creating and collecting. Humankind has been collecting humongous amount of data. What we are going to now enter is the phase where we start using AI to analyze that data and create meaning out of it. Data analysis is going to play a great role there. Data analysts will play a great role there. But what is required? It not just data analysis skill set. That is what is going to enable you to do it. But what you will need at the core is an understanding of what's happening, an understanding of what is needed, the user requirements. Can you go and start to predict? Look at data and look at patterns and look at what you can do with the data. Right? I gave that example of a watch which people wear, which can monitor a lot of your health related parameters. Google has talked about iris scans. Now you have this data, humongous amount of data. What can you predict out of it? Right? Google recently, they talked about predicting health conditions, fatal health conditions, at least 24 hours before they can happen, just by scanning the iris and taking inputs from the variables, the heartbeats, the oxygen levels, and so on and so forth. Similarly, if you have got so many traffic lights across your city, your country, and a whole lot of data being collected from there, can you predict patterns? Can you predict how things are changing and what needs to be done because of that? And so on and so forth. Look at a building. If you had sensors spread, thousands of sensors embedded in the concrete and cement for a building, with all the data it could collect, will you be able to predict cracks arising in a building, any failures, potential failures, and so on and so forth. If you had, I mean, we have been measuring seismographic activity across the globe, and scientists, geologists are trying to predict earthquakes, tsunamis, which of course are because of earthquakes undersea. Can AI come in there? So data analysis will be a tool. What you will need under it is an understanding of what you need, how the data analysis will help you do it. And that again relates to ERP. What is ERP? ERP is a vast storage table of data belonging to an organization. Priya talked about LLMs for organizations. LLMs specific to an organization. Now you bring together these two things. AI working on ERP to generate intelligent insights for an organization. The board meeting which happens, the senior management, when they are sitting, they are getting insights from AI, which is a result of data analysis, which is a result of AI activity, and they are formulating their future strategy. How do they tackle the future? How do they grow in the markets? What kind of marketing strategies do you use? What kind of product strategies do you use? How is the product behaving in the market, which is based on all the reviews and online conversations happening, AI filtering it, AI creating gap analysis for it, that, oh, you don't have this flavor in the market. So Lay's board meeting and AI telling them, oh, there is a need for this particular flavor which you don't have. The possibilities are immense. Data analysis,
Praveen has the right skills. Absolutely, you have found that if you're a data analyst, and if you know, just like what Heyman said, you know what to do with the data. And with AI and all these tools, there is even more data that organizations are collecting, even individuals are collecting, but we don't know. As a business owner, I can tell you that there's a lot of data that's sitting out there, but we don't really know what to make out of it, how to use it. So all these AI tools enable us to collect data. Now we want the data analysts to help us make sense out of it, right? So definitely, you know, and I would say, Praveen, if you are into data analytics, it would also help you to kind of know, work with the other business intelligence tools like, you know, BI. You already probably are working with BI and Tableau and other things, and also to maybe look for a specialized area, maybe in construction industry, asset management, or power, energy, and things like that, or healthcare. You know, maybe choose a specialization and work on freelance projects, or just projects on your own, to be able to build that experience, so that when people interview you can really show that you know what you're talking about. I think we'll take one more question if Zach really is interested in asking that question. I saw you raising your hand earlier. Zach, was it a question?
No, it wasn't a question. I was just trying to answer Praveen's question, I think, or maybe add to it.
Sure.
So I think yeah, I mean, we as they've mentioned, like, we really can't predict the future, and AI is going to be part of everything we do, part of every it's like in every part of our life. And if you want to prepare yourself or maybe look for a career, I would say um look where the trend is. Maybe be active on LinkedIn or Twitter, and then follow people who are actually in the field of AI and machine learning. There are so many people out there, and then you go ahead and check what they're doing, the POCs that they're building. Try to engage with them. Maybe build your own. The best way to learn is actually by doing, and I personally had experience with it. So go ahead, build a small POC. Maybe make it a little bit different, invent into it, or you can maybe look around you. Maybe in UAE, if you have like experience, maybe when you go outside, you go to the grocery store, you go to the mall, look if there's any problem that you can solve. Look for like the basic thing. Maybe you can bring something new with AI, just so that currently or you have an idea about AI, and there's so many problems. How can I solve with AI? And then with so many people posting different POCs or applications or like things they're working on, you can try to integrate and actually start making your own POC that solves a problem. And then you just showcase it. You can maybe post a LinkedIn, hey, I was working on this POC that solves this problem in UAE. Maybe like solve a problem there, and then you will see so many people actually gonna start and ask you, hey, maybe we can build something together, this one is gonna come from you. So that's how you make it. You build something, you showcase, and then you share with other people, and then they will come to you. So I would say, don't look for them, make them come to you, because we have everything we need right there in front of us. You just a little research, and then you just have to be maybe curious. So I
Great.
think
Great input, Zach. So it's all about, coming back to inbound marketing, it's about practically doing things and putting yourself out there, saying that we have done. There is a lot of noise out there. Every other person now is an AI expert, is an ML engineer, and quite a lot. So just like Zach was saying before that, I was also saying the same thing, that you have to pick a project, pick a specialization, and start doing something on your own, produce something on your own, and all the resources that you need. I don't know if I spotlighted myself. Yeah, so and for all the resources that you need, you have Arshad's community. You have the community that we have built as well. So keep being part of the community, and keep an eye on our LinkedIn pages and our Instagram handles and socials as well. There's a lot that we can work together as well, and we are here to help you. We have gone so much over time, but I hope this discussion helped you. Thank you so much, Hemant, for being here. And thank you each and every one for joining in and pitching in your thoughts. And please do keep in touch, and we would love to hear from you about what your concerns are around AI and how we can work together. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye. And this
Thank you,
recording
guys.
will be up and we'll post it on LinkedIn and other channels. Do share it with people who are scared about AI and help them with some of the inputs that you have gathered here.